Welcome to number 10 of our workshops together on the Vivaldi Gloria. And as usual, we will begin with Joy giving us a warm-up. So here we are.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You know my favorite, lip trills. Lip trills are so good when you, because it just keeps your breath moving. It forces you to keep your breath moving. If you're going and you're losing the trill, you've lost air. So you got to keep that air moving all the time. It's good for your breath support as well. And when you do it in the octaves that we do it, you get a good range. You get a good practice of your range. You just don't want to take too much weight from the bottom, since we start on the bottom octave and go up. You don't want to take that any weight from the lower octave up to the top octave. You have to manage that as well. You have to maneuver that as well. All right, everybody, the drums, ready? Here we go. Lovely. Our next one is just going to be zo, 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 zo. So you want to have a nice, tall, vertical O, ah, keeping it all very tall. And use your Z to get your breath moving and your sound out. Zo, 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 zo. Here we go. Zo, 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 zo. To send the sound out. I love to sing. All right. I love to sing. 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 I love to sing.
I think that with Fear and Trembling, next week you may see us looking a little differently, because we have ordered some special singers' masks, and we may try them next week in here. We'll see. We'll just see. But we've ordered them, and they're supposed to be very effective. We are going today to do the last half of the Vivaldi Gloria, beginning with number 7, the Domine Fidi Unigenite. if you look at the board, what you see on the board is not something I want you to write. I don't want you to actually slur. I just want you to think that the small note in the dotted rhythm belongs to the next note, not to the previous note. So it's not da 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 da, it's da 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 da, and it tends to move the line forward, and it also works much better usually. So I'm just telling you how to sing it. I'm not asking you to put this actually in there, unless slurred, and I'll talk about that later. We note that our text is Domine fili uni genite. I would not like us not to move from the fili uni. Domine fili uni. I do not want fili uni, as if it's one wonderful Italian word for some kind of. We want to break a tiny lip. Domine fili uni genite. So normally we will do that. And finally, we note that there is a lot of octaves, especially where you are moving upward or downward, and suddenly you drop. You'll see it. It happens often, and it's fun. And it's there simply because the general range becomes a little bit pushed if we continue upward or downward. So instead, they leap downward, or they leap downward more often than not. But let's try it together, please. The Domine fili uni genite. Would you begin with me, please, on page 40? You will note the alto begins with the actual theme. Bass has that nice counter theme. Domine fili, domine fili. I'm too low. What is an F, please? Thank you. Shall we try it together, please? Now, we talked about the fact that this is a Gloria, and she talked about how your faces should show what you're doing. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I know you're wondering, what are we going to talk about for the next 2 weeks if we finish this? Well, there's a lot of things I want to discuss philosophically about why I'm doing and what I'm doing, but we're also going to be doing some practicing, do not fear. So here we go. For us, it's top page 40. We begin with measure 9, the alto and bass. 1, 2, 3. Soprano tenor. Here's the displacement. Alto bass. Soprano tenor. Start right there. Bum, be-dum, be-dum. Let's make that upper note, the 16th, a little bit stronger. Bum, be-dum, 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 be-dum. Because sometimes it almost sounds like you're seeing a note lower than that. Dum, ba-dum, it's dum, be-dum. Exactly, measure 79. 1, 2, 3. if you will look with me, please, at measure 60, tenor. Yum, ba-dum, as a kri. The zoo is on the 16th note. You want to go, yeah, zoo-ukri, you want to, but it's not till the last one.
Okay.
And that so it will connect with the basis quite nicely right there, because that's where they say theirs also. I say that to note that with you. And now if we'd look, please, at number 8. Now here, we have the wonderful alto solo with the choir acting kind of like the Greek chorus. And choir, most often you sing quitolis peccata, and that's exactly what I don't want you to do. Quitolis peccata. Quitolis peccata. I would like you to break it. It happens 4 times. And the last time I believe it is filius patris. Again, it's the S going to the P.
Yes.
But if you would break that at measure 13, if you would break that again at measure 16, if you would break it again at measure 18, at measure 23, and then down on measure 28, I believe, you've got the filius patris. If you would break it there also, if you would mark it those places, I would much appreciate it. And that really is the only things we have to worry about, except the fact that I will sing the alto solo. And that is great fear for everyone. May I have the A, please? Domine Deus, 1. Agnus Dei filius patris, Domine Deus, Agnus Dei filius patris, Domine Deus rex celestis, Domine Fili unigenite, Domine Deus, Agnus Dei filius patris, It will feel different with an orchestra. It will feel different with the alto soloist. And the alto soloist will be given the option of doing some ornamentation as would have been proper in that period. And as you may have heard if you've listened to some recordings. So just be aware that that might happen.
Is the mise more a Z sound than an S sound? Mise.
Mise, it's more Z sound, yes. Miserere. Thank you. Now, number 9, just a couple things to remember. It begins adagio in 4/4, ends with fermata, and then we go into 3/2. When we go into the 3/2, the beat remains constant, so the quarter note becomes the half note. And at the very end, I want to try something. I may not like it. But you may note that measure 12, 13, 14, 15 pretty much is measure 17, 18, 19, and 20 repeated. I would like a little bit of a crescendo the second, a little bit more crescendo the second time, as if you're really pleading. Miserere, hear our supplication, deprecationem nostrum. So let's see, we should be able to get through this in just no time. We're doing so well right now. Here we go. Here are our pitches. Okay, let the bass really predominate. The tito. That is an extremely important note. I know we're going to have cello, and that will bring it up too, but I just love that note. Here we go once again. 1, 2. Nice strong with the picardy there at the end. Thank you. Thank you very much. Number 10, of course, is an alto solo, and a quite beautiful one. You will go to number 11. 11, of course, is the Reader's Digest version of number 1. There's only a few things I would like to say to you, and that is, Quoniam solo sanctus. The S should be put on the quarter rest as it shows on the board, or in one case on an 8th rest. But put the S on, if there is a following rest, use that as the opportunity to place your final consonant. And that happens 4 times, once at measure 7, once at measure 9, once at measure 13, and then I'd like you to make a small change in measure 16, and that's where you have T-C moose. I would like the moose to be a dotted quarter with an 8th rest, and the 8th rest is where the S goes on. T-C moose, moose, if those are 8 notes. T-C moose. The S goes on the 8th rest that we have just added. And that should make this one really, really simple to do. Here we go. Let it bounce, and remember, this is a happy piece. You never know it. If you folks out there could see what I'm looking right now, you would despair of us ever being able to sing this as a Gloria. It would be more like a requiem. Here we go. 1, 2.
Quoniam tu solo sanctus, quoniam tu solo sanctus, tu solus Dominus, tu solus Altissimus, Jesu Christe,
right now, just because I know it's going to happen when we start rehearsing with all of you, which I hope will not be too far down the road. The final Christe, please make sure it is a Christ, T-E-H, te, not te. No diphthong on it, please. A single vowel, T-E-H. If you have any problem with that, feel free to add an H anywhere you're singing an E to make sure that you're using a clean E and not an E double E. Finally, we have the Cum Sancto Spiritu. Now, I wrote something on the board that you don't see me write very often. My wife would not believe that I wrote it, but here it is. Number 12, just enjoy.
Oh, okay.
Just enjoy and music don't really seem to go together with me, but it's always fix it, fix it, fix it, make it better, make it better, make it better. But let's just enjoy this one, okay? And it's the last thing we have to do today, so we'll get done just a bit early, and I can see you're all jumping for joy about that, especially if you have reservations. And we especially say our prayers are with all the folks that are getting ready to start school tomorrow.
Cum Sancto Spiritu,
Cum Sancto Spiritu, in gloria Dei Patris, in gloria Dei Patris, Amen. Sancto
Nice finish, a lot of problems earlier that we kind of just went on through, and so we're going to do it one more time. We do have time to do that incidentally, just. So let's just sing through it standing one more time, please. Number 12, it's a great way to end, and with the Holy Spirit. Ready? Page 66, measure 1. Nice and full. You're my entire bass section, and a great one you are.
Doing very
2,
well.
3, 4.
Cum Sancto Spiritu,
Cum Sancto Spiritu, in gloria Dei Patris, in gloria Dei Patris, Amen. Sancto Spiritu,
Tenor.
Cum Sancto Spiritu, in gloria Dei Patris,
comes the trumpet. Comes the tenor. Won't we have a glorious time when we get to do this with a chamber orchestra and a small group too? I thank you all. I especially thank Lenny for recording this for me, and Dr. Susan, obviously a lot of hard work
Yes.
done by you. We appreciate that. Please pray the prayer that you're going to see in just a moment, and if you need to get in touch with me, please do so. We added 4 people this past week, and that's a wonderful thing. Thank you very much. Goodbye.